And big news coming from the pharmaceutical company Pfizer. Welcome to Fox 8 News at 7. I'm Jennifer Jordan. Pfizer says its COVID vaccine is safe and effective after being studied in more than 2,000 children. Pfizer announcing its vaccine has a robust antibody response in kids ages 5 to 11 years old. These results are the first of its kind for this age group in the U.S. related to a COVID vaccine. Pfizer says it plans to submit results to the Food and Drug Administration with, quote, urgency. Experts call it encouraging news and hope the FDA approval process moves swiftly.
Since July, we have seen a significant rise, about 240% in the number of cases of children and adolescents with COVID. Certainly we know going back to school was a big part of that.
Clinical trials for children as young as 6 months are still underway. More information about that age group and vaccine could be released later this year. Ohio recorded close to 5,000 new coronavirus cases over the past day. That's just a little under the current 3-week average. There were also more than 200 hospitalizations, and across the state, about 80% of all available ICU beds are filled. Now, 2 local hospital systems are suspending elective surgeries as COVID cases continue to rise. Avita Health System in Ontario and Ohio Health Mansfield Hospital say both inpatient and outpatient procedures are being postponed. A spokesperson for Ohio Health says the move is to help make sure they have enough staff to care for more critically ill patients. Since the beginning of the month, Richland County has seen almost 1,400 new COVID cases. Condolences are pouring in for Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson and his entire family after his grandson, Frank Q. Jackson, was shot and killed last night on the city's east side. 24-year-old Frank Q. Jackson was no stranger to police, having a history of run-ins with the law. But now the search is on for the person who shot and killed him. The Fox 8i team has learned a female told officers that the mayor's grandson asked her to drop him off in the area of Sitaway and East 70th Street around 9 o'clock last night. Police say the 24-year-old was shot moments after he got out of the vehicle. Cleveland City Council reacting to the murder, saying, quote, "We offer our deepest sympathies to Mayor Frank G. Jackson and his family for the death of his 24-year-old grandson. Cleveland police are investigating, and we believe the person or persons responsible will be apprehended and brought to justice." Council President and candidate for mayor Kevin Kelly tweeting, "My deepest condolences go out to Mayor Jackson and the entire Jackson family. The sudden loss of a child and grandchild is tragic, and I ask the entire community to respect the Jackson family as they mourn their loss." He goes on to say they deserve to grieve in peace. Also, mayoral candidate Justin Bibb saying, quote, "I extend my deepest condolences to Mayor Frank Jackson and his entire family over the loss of his grandson. I'm keeping them in my prayers." At this time, Cleveland police have not released any information about a possible suspect or motive. A $5,000 reward now being offered for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Police in North Olmsted are investigating a home invasion that turned deadly. Detectives say a woman forced her way into a home on Mastic Road just before 11 last night and attacked an elderly man before she was shot by that man's wife. The woman, who has been identified as 21-year-old Kiara Tompkins, was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Investigators say it appears the homeowner was justified in defending her husband and their home. The deadly home invasion has left 2 families grieving and in shock.
They're both very distraught and upset about the incident. Takes a toll on everyone, the families on both sides, the victim's family and the homeowners as well.
And police are now waiting for the results of testing by the medical examiner to find out if Kiara Tompkins had any drugs or alcohol in her system. Police also trying to determine a motive. The Fox 8 I-Team is learning more about a shooting that seriously injured a college student. This Euclid police body cam video showing Marshawn Wilson minutes after he was shot 3 times by suspects when he tried to help a co-worker deal with an alleged shoplifter. Wilson, a student at Lake Erie College, is now recovering. He was shot in his hand, leg, and stomach. Police tell us the shooting happened Sunday morning, September 12th, while Wilson was working at the Dollar Tree in Euclid. The suspects have not yet been arrested.
I started to panic even more. I started to walk back to the door, finally collapsed to my knees. I started walking to the door screaming like, please someone help me, please someone help me.
Such a nice young man who's doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. You know, he's doing the right things, and unfortunately there are others who choose not to do the right thing, and then they're responsible for this. They could have taken this young man's life.
Marshawn says he does not know when he will be able to return to work or school. A GoFundMe account has been started to help him with medical bills and expenses. To learn more, please go to our website, fox8.com, and click on this story. The Fox 8 I-Team also investigating why it took 90 minutes for Cleveland police to get a call after a local businessman called 911. He turned to the I-Team when it took an hour and a half to get Cleveland police to check out strangers on his property. Strangers parked in a van outside the business on Brook Park Road, and they say they've been hit before by thieves, so to them, a 90-minute police response, they say, is ridiculous.
I pay a lot of taxes, and I think I should have a little bit more expectations from the police department.
We've been waiting for an hour and a half also.
Is the van still back there? Cleveland police found people inside a van claiming to be homeless. Police say the call had been given a low priority, leading to the long response time. Akron City Council is considering freeing up police officers for more serious crimes by sending civilians to handle lower priority calls. The plan would send specially trained civilians or counselors to calls that could include mental health issues, noise, or homeless complaints, where officers might not be needed. Council consulting with a group called Action Partnership, which believes that some low-priority calls might escalate just because an armed, uniformed police officer is present. On the flip side of that is the chance that things could escalate without a police officer there.
Many of these social workers have been assaulted on calls when police officers aren't there. And so the calls that they were going to, they thought they did need the police, and then in fact they did need the police.
For now, the proposal is under discussion in a city council committee. The investigation into what happened to Gabby Patino intensifies, but the search for the main person of interest in her disappearance called off over the weekend. So what happens now? The latest developments in this case. It's the Ohio law created to punish those who abuse animals. Up next, the new effort to give Goddard's Law more teeth. And one community is fed up, so they're taking matters into their own hands. How they're trying to bring attention to a number of potholes in the neighborhood. AJ.
Hey there, Jen. Boy, the air is really humid out here. Very moist air mass is on the way, and the air is juiced up in time for plenty of rainfall. It'll come down in buckets. We'll put some timing on the rain, and an 8-day you don't want to miss coming up next.